Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing good and you all are in high spirits. I'm Nadia Tasleem. I'm a facilitator at Enablers, and today we have a success story with us in the form of our student from very first batch. She is Hadia Mukhtar and she's based in Karachi, so we are having this online session with her. And mashallah, with Allah's grace, she has been able to qualify her civil services in 2021. And of course, it's a great moment. It's a proud moment for Enablers to have her with us and to somehow celebrate her success with all of you and to let you know what she did, how she somehow passed through this journey of civil services and how Enablers contributed in her journey. And I'm pretty sure that Hadia's interview will help you to opt for better subjects, and she will, the way she will share her journey with you, you will definitely be able to understand what you need to do to get better score and to do well with great nerves, with high spirit in civil services, inshallah. So we have Hadia with us. Welcome, Hadia, on the board. And I'm glad to have you here. It's such a great honor and such a proud moment for Enablers to have you here as a success story, as a successful student who once started with us. She joined us as an aspirant of civil services, and today we see her as someone who has already qualified and has achieved her first milestone, which of course is a big milestone. And I'm sure now, once you will start talking to the viewers, once you'll share your journey and your experience with Enablers, and everything else that you want to share, because viewers are keen to, of course, know from you, to hear from you, that all will be beneficial for all the students, for all the aspirants, as well as even for the others who are struggling with different things in different walks of life. Primarily because, means when as mentor I see Hadia, we have found her to be one of the most dedicated, most passionate and hardworking student. She has always been there to give us the right response at the right moment. And all of these things, I'm sure, have done great in her journey and have contributed in the success that she has achieved. So we have with us Hadia Mukhtar. Let us ask Hadia to introduce herself in a thorough way, because I'm sure that you all want to know each and everything about Hadia and about her journey towards civil services. So carry on, Hadia.
Thank you so much, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank you so much for giving me such an honor and such a recognition, and I'm very indebted to you. So thank you so much, ma'am. And Assalamu alaikum, viewers and aspirants. How are you? I hope all of you are well and in best of your health. My name is Hadia Mukhtar. I qualified CSS in year 2021. And it is indeed a very long, inspiring, tiring, strenuous, yet a very wonderful journey that I believe that once you get the reward for all the hard work that you have put on, you're going to realize that it is certainly paid off at the end of the day. So my journey was, yes, inspiring. It was filled with the pits and falls, ups and downs. There were moments I was completely on the verge of giving up, but then there were moments when I was also motivated by my mentors, my teachers, and of course the Enablers platform, which I joined as the first batch during the pandemic when it was first launched. And it really totally changed my perspective towards giving CSS papers, how to attempt questions, how to interact with teachers. Although we were living in different, provinces and different cities, yet we felt like we were so close like never before. So it was a great time. And starting with myself, I have done my master's in English literature. I have a quite teaching experience teaching O-level students, and I've also worked as a sub-editor at Global Village Space. And during this studying, doing jobs, and getting some work experience, I also started preparing for my CSA exams, and the Enablers online coaching platform was a very suitable option for me to make my work and study balance. So that's all from my side, ma'am.
Chane, that's great, Hadia, and thank you so much for somehow rewarding us the way you are, primarily because it's always great to see students achieving something and then ultimately even to acknowledge their mentors. That is something which clearly indicates the kind of values that you have, and that is something that your parents would definitely be feeling proud of. So Hadia, means obviously all the aspirants of CSS would definitely be excited to view this particular episode, and they would have this urge that whether you had this means you had it as a childhood dream to pursue this civil services, the means this course that you actually pursued, or something else triggered you or motivated you to go for civil services. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, of course, it was not actually a childhood dream, but it is also something that didn't came out of nowhere, or it was not an inspiration that erupted overnight. It was something that the inspiration for CSS was, if I could recall, it started when I was doing my master's in English literature in the University of Karachi, and there were voices in the department and in the university that there is an exam through which you can be a part of civil service and you can use your potentials to bring change. So the idea to bring change really inspired me, and I started, researching that how I, as a person, a lay person who is no one, can bring change in our country. So these were the voices that motivated me, and I started researching about CSS, and I came to know that yes, it is a platform through which, though it is very competitive in nature, it is very tough, it's difficult, but it does not mean that it is impossible. So we can do it. So I started researching about it, and then I realized that if I have this potential, I have an ability to express myself, I have good, considerably well writing skills, so I can, give my luck and giving my hard work into it, I can, hope towards achieving this goal. So yes, I qualified CSS at my second attempt, but it was something that changed me. So the idea of changing, bringing change in yourself and changing things around yourself were the two factors that motivated me towards going towards taking this exam.
It's really great to know, and Hadia, means obviously seeing a student succeeding in her goals and achieving her goals, succeeding in life and achieving her goals is of course something remarkable. However, when we see that students are motivated actually to bring change in the country, and they have got broader horizon to think, and they have got means much more to give, much more to offer, it gives more a stronger feeling of fulfillment, and it gives more satisfaction actually even to the mentors, that we are coming up with the group of people who are actually inshallah going to bring some change and positive change, and will contribute a lot in the lives of others. And I believe the way you got motivated by this means, usually people take exams and they try to get better jobs in order to make their careers. So that is one point obviously, and that usually has been a motivating point for many, and that is not, there's no harm in it. However, if you get motivated not just to acquire a job, because you already are engaged and you already are earning and all that, so means being motivated to bring change is something which makes you somehow apart from others, and which gives you an edge, and which is something that is giving me a strong feeling of fulfillment to have interacted
Yes.
with you and to have been able to maybe slightly contribute in your journey. So that is something great which I'm experiencing. And of course, I'm sure your family and your parents definitely would be owning all this. Okay, so Hadia, now means coming back to the this journey of civil services, obviously it's usually hard choice because you have a lot of subjects. Means there are some compulsory subjects, still there are many other optional subjects, and you have to choose among them. So what were the key subjects that you opted for, and what what motivated you, or what forced you or compelled you to opt for those certain subjects? So if you could come up with that, because that is going to help maybe many students who are struggling in this area, in this field.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Choosing optional subjects is one of the most important decisions and the right decision that you can take, because they depend on the scoring trend. there are multiple factors that you should take into account while you're choosing your optional subject. Number one is the scoring trend. Number two, the way they give you or they pave the way towards smart study. Or the third option is that how much marks you can get in that subject. So the subjects that I chose the second factor, and that was those subjects that would give me a smart way to prepare for CSS, and also these were the subjects that were my core interest areas. So number one, I chose international relations because I was very much interested in learning about how states as global actors interact on the stage, world stage, and how the decisions taken by them are impacted, and how people are impacted by the decisions they take, and how circumstances and scenarios on the global world stage change. So that's why I chose international relations. Number two, I chose international law because I believe that when I'm studying the relation between states and other actors, I need to also know the legal perspective on them. So, in a way, international law and international relations were interlinked. So, I chose that. And then I chose sociology. And I believe that sociology is a very interesting subject because through a theoretical framework, you can get an understanding about what is happening in our society in particular, and the global society at large. So that's why I chose sociology. Then I chose gender studies, which is a relatively short subject. It has 8 topics, and it is very important because at this point in time, we are very much concerned about the rights of women and also of transgenders, and how they are also the citizens, equal citizens in our society, and how we can ensure that justice and rights are imparted to them. And then I chose public administration, which I believe again is a very viable and important essential subject because it is also very scoring. It is interesting, and also it gives you the idea of the administration that we are eventually going to be the part of. So that's why, with foresight and keeping my interest, and also ensuring that they give me a smart way towards preparing for these exams, I chose these subjects.
And that's great, Hadia, and means you have clearly elaborated the way you opted for these subjects and what actually were the key reasons. And I'm really glad, and I believe students will definitely get help from it, primarily because the way you somehow drew a link between IR and IL is, of course, that is something students need to take into consideration, because that can ultimately even be helpful when you get into the job and when you start making policies and you are part of the process. So obviously knowing the legal perspectives and knowing the international relations at large is going to help you a lot. Then the way you have justified your option for sociology is incredibly well, primarily because understanding the society will enable you ultimately to contribute in a very positive manner. And then this gender issue or gender studies, that again, I really am getting fascinated with the way you have explained that gender studies is a mark scoring subject as well, can turn to be a mark scoring, primarily because if you have short content, it would be easy for you to concentrate on it and to be well prepared with the subject. And then again, it's a global issue and it's going to be significant. It's going to be helpful in somehow letting you know about the kind of debates that are going on. And then public administration, of course, is going to help you a lot in the field. So the way you have drew a connection with the content and the practical implication of the subjects is something incredible. Now, if I come to enablers, primarily because means obviously it would be great to hear from you about your journey at enablers, about the contribution, the kind of contribution enablers could make in your life, or in your at least this journey towards civil services, or at large being in this isolated environment of because of COVID, how you found enablers to be as a platform and how you found the mentors of enablers. So it would be great if you could come up with a few words about that.
Yes. Ma'am, I would like to say that if I cleared my second attempt, because even though I got my aggregate in my first attempt, but I was unable to pass one subject. So the reason why I was able to qualify the second attempt, the credit goes to Allah Almighty, of course, my parents, and third is enablers, because I believe that at this point in time, when you are all in a lockdown situation and you desperately need guidance, so enabler was a blessing for me, because I really needed some guidance. And at this point point in time, I saw from my social media page that there's an online academy, and I rushed towards it because I really wanted to get some guidance. And the first lecture that I attended was of you, because you were discussing the international relations paper and the dynamics on how to solve it and how to present a paper. So it really inspired me, and I decided that yes, I should go for the course that it's offering. So first of all, I believe that as a digital teaching medium and learning platform enabler is something that I would give a very high score, because like connecting with the people you haven't met in such an interactive way using a digital platform is a task, a battle in itself, and I believe that enablers won this task because it was amazing the way all of the teachers, you, ma'am Nadia, madam Hina, sir Janzeb, and sir Sef, but they tried to interact with us through the go to meeting sessions, and there were also interactive sessions in the chat room, and the assignments you used to assign us, and we used to give you back on Google Forms. So it was an amazing opportunity. We learned a lot, and we started being independent, because one of the ways you can qualify CSS if you promote independent learning through guidance. So this is what was the motto, and I believe that enablers successfully achieved it. In my case, if I'm sitting and as a qualifier, then the credit from a teaching side goes to enablers. So
Thank you so
that's very less I could say at
Chani,
this
thank you.
point.
Thank you so much for all these words of encouragement, because teaching means, of course, it's always a two-way learning process. And we means whenever we have some good students who are not good students, mean the students who are motivated, who are dedicated, and who want a kind of equal contribution from their side, that naturally uplifts the teacher's spirit as well. And so the way
Yes.
you have talked about enablers and the way you have explained what enablers has been offering is something which is, of course, remarkable, primarily because you have explained even little, means all the little details of enablers, how we have been interacting with you all, and how you have been obviously responding to us. Okay, whenever we used Google Classrooms and we used to come up with quizzes and other assignments, students' response kept motivating us to come up with more assignments and to come up with more feedback. And we used to have feedback sessions for that matter. But your words of encouragement, of course, mean a lot and can ultimately turn to be a driving force for enablers as well. Thank you so much. So the way you have already explained, so you, I believe, means if you had to give any tip to the students of who are aspirants for civil services, regarding your means, regarding civil services, regarding life, and regarding even in joining enablers, you should come up with that kind of tip.
Ma'am, I believe that it is a very CSS preparation journey is undoubtedly very long and very time consuming and also strenuous. So I believe number one, the students need to keep their motivation level high, because there are going to be times where they are going to feel totally detached and resigned, and they would say that now I'm not doing. I'm just tired of it. But they should keep in mind that yeah, if they are tired, then the reward is very much high of this. So they should, number one, be motivated. Number two, they should study on a daily basis, make sure that their memory retention is good, and they start learning things that are very important. And also writing practice, which you all have been telling us throughout the coaching, that we have to write, we have to show the work, and we have to get feedback from the teachers. So writing and getting feedback and improving yourself day by day is very important. And I believe that reading process and reading newspapers and reading good articles and reading books and being in contact with good grammar books in order to improve your writing and expression skills are very important. So I believe that all of these things were imparted to us in our very first orientation session that we had, the online session we had with everyone, where we met all of you, and you were all on the same page regarding these tips. So these tips were my rule of the thumb from day one, and I believe that these tips should be the rule of the thumb of every aspirant who wants to achieve his or her goal. So that's, ma'am.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips, and I believe students will get help from it, and inshallah, it will pave the way for them and it will facilitate them in a positive manner. Now, just another short question, which is probably going to be the last question, is because usually, means obviously, when we come up with this online preparations or when we launch online academies and anything of the sort, many people usually means they find themselves, I mean, they find it hard to convince themselves to pay for any online session or online academy. So, what would you like to say about the fee structure of enablers? Do you think it was worth paying the way you had to pay for enablers, or means what would you say about it?
Ma'am, I believe that online education at this point in time should be taken by the students as a blessing, because getting education right to in your comfort zone and you can study at your own pace is something that it's going to really help you and save time of running to the academies and sitting there. Although they have their own benefits, but online has its own benefits, and I believe that enablers synergize these benefits in the best possible way. So, and of course, value for money, I would like to say again that it's my experience. I've been from batch one, and the knowledge that you imparted both through lectures and the way the reading materials, the slides that you shared with us, were something that I have saved with me till now. So I believe that's very valuable, and the way the interaction is happening with all of you is something that I don't think so any other platform would offer that. So from a perspective of money and knowledge and feedback and lectures and everything, I think it is something that has, I think, words which fall short for it. So it's absolutely all of these parameters are working, syncing together.
Okay, thank you so much, Hadia, for taking time, and thank you so much for coming up with with this interview. Primarily because it's going to be, inshallah, helpful for many other students as well, and many others who are struggling hard for civil services. Because obviously, students have a kind of panic regarding civil services. They usually are motivated. Still, they want someone to encourage them. They want someone to come up with the positive things to say. Someone who already has achieved that milestone. Someone who already has qualified. And so they will take you now as a mentor, and they would be excited to hear these words from a success, means from someone who has actually, mashallah, achieved that goal or achieved success. And inshallah, I believe and I'm sure you will keep achieving such milestones in life. And enablers actually is means really honored to have such student who not only achieved her goal but also acknowledged the contributions of the mentors who were there to interact with her. Our well wishes and our prayers are always with you. Wish you all the best, and may you be a source of change in this country, a source of very positive change. The way I can see in the sparkle of your eye today, and inshallah you will be. So stay blessed always, and all the best, Hadia. All the best.
Thank you.
Allah
Thank you
Hafiz.
so much.